Hi everyone, Mo here, and you are looking at my studio space, which is basically converted. I won't say permanently converted, goes back and forth between my oldest daughter's bedroom and my creative space. So I am preparing for a solo show in May, and I have to fill quite a large space there. So this is the desk where all the painting is happening. Actually, there's more than one show, so different things are happening over here and here. And that's her bed, which I now have all canvases laid out, and over there are like pieces of the puzzle. There are things spread out all over the bed because we are not using this to sleep on at this moment. When she comes back for spring break, this place would look very, very different. And so let's walk in. See, this is not a curated, cleaned up, staged space. This is just in real action. So you will see mess, and yes, I clean up in between projects, of course, and I clean up almost every night, but I don't aim to make it spick and span. Simply, however would allow me to come back the next day and start fresh. These are the brushes, that's my cappuccino, those are my pigment sticks, pencils, heart-shaped rocks I found, can it focus? Yes, my word of the year, and as my phone, I try not to look at it if it's on the surface. Every time someone likes something on Instagram, I am there, and then I'm scrolling other people's work, and you know how it goes. And here's a book I found at Marshall's. This one, I made some points, and I jotted down some things that I really liked. It's inspiring, let's just say that. Excuse me. And that's the desk where I do my morning hand lettering for the 100-day project. And I keep this space clean like this because every morning when I come here, I need to have this space ready for me to film for like 5 minutes, then do a quick edit on my laptop or phone or whatever is happening, and then post it as a reel on Instagram. And if it is not simple and easy, it simply won't get done. And here are some essentials, my color pencils and my clips. And here's the grid I was working on. I think it will change in flavor a lot every now and then. For now, that's a little clay project I did with my youngest, and that's a necklace she made for Valentine's Day. And these are her, baby socks and tiny shoes that are just adorable. And those are her first ballet slippers. This is a reminder for me as to why I do what I do. I feel being creative helps me be a better mom. And that's a painting I did a few years ago. And that light bulb, I'm very fond of Thomas Edison, and that light bulb kind of like not giving up. You may fail many, many, many times and yet not give up. It's a reminder that I need. And here are my paintings in various stages of progress. And here's my shelf. Now, the shelf, I approach a shelf quite like a blank canvas, and then just like mixed media art, I build it up in layers. So I started with a metal ladder shelf. The reason I choose this kind of shelves is because they are very lightweight, and because they are ladder, if I show you from this side, they lean back slightly, which means the chances of this shelf tipping over is lesser. And books with interesting fonts in title and cover. It's just, I'm fond of lettering, and I'm actually fascinated by lettering. And then I built it up with who I really am. I like a touch of fun in my whatever I do, how I live. And that yellow chair is from a dollhouse set for my youngest, and she doesn't miss it. And that robot, it's like, we got it in 2012 when my son was 7 years old. We went to Washington, D.C., and we found it at the Smithsonian museum store, and we got it. He has moved on since to building computers of his own. So those things are relics of the past and make me happy. Like, I spent quite a few years of my creative work in working for a hobby magazine called Creating Keepsakes. Some of you may remember it, some of you may not. Some of you may not even have heard of it. But I used to do scrapbook layouts, and so memories, surrounding myself with memories of things that I loved, it really keeps me inspired. And I'm very fond of globes, because the things, the everyday things are not so different for people regardless of their cultures. Like, I am living in the States for last 22 years. Before, I spent the first part of my life in India, and the emotions and sentiments, the core things in our hearts are still quite the same, I find. My opinion, but yeah. And I love this retro looking camera. It's not a camera, it's a tape dispenser. I got it at Anthropology when I went to Hyde Park when we were in Florida with a friend, and we had a good time, and it kind of reminds me of that. And that Eiffel Tower, it's actually from Eiffel Tower in Paris. I could have bought it for like a tenth of the price on the streets of Paris, but because it was being sold at the store in the Eiffel Tower, I had to get it from there. And here are some, I like baskets and beans because I just sometimes need to throw in whatever needs to be from the table, cleaning up the table and just having a place to put it back. So easy open storage helps me do that. These are my camera chargers, my Logitech webcam, etc. And then there are these, they are sold as photo boxes. I have all kinds of stuff in them. I try to keep the colors neutral as much as possible because that allows me to accessorize in a different way. Like, I can go wild with the accessorizing without the space getting boring. And here's my camera and my candle and stuff that I like. This is where my sketchbooks and journals are, and more journals, more sketchbooks. Those are some, all kinds of different kinds of paper. And everything in my space has to serve a purpose. Obviously, I cannot just style a space for the sake of styling it. It has to serve a purpose as well. And so, you know, all of these tins and things, they have things inside them. And just being mindful that this is a shared space, and whatever and however I keep something, it needs to be easily removable or out of the way. And here's a closet. I'm not gonna open it up to you, but I promise you it's pretty organized in there too. So other than that, this room is not the only place I create in. I create in the car, I create in the on the dining table, I create wherever I can find a little time to create. So here is a part of my creative time, which is waiting for my youngest to get out of school. So I'm in my car, and I try to keep my car fairly clean. I usually have music if I'm doing like creating in the car. Sometimes I would have just music and okay, why did I turn that on? Never mind. So yeah, and this is like my little makeshift backpack. Makeshift backpack. It's a backpack. It's a tiny little backpack. Like you can see, this is my little camera bag inside that. I drew this in my January sketchbook. And here's my little pencil sketch. Oh, this is incredibly tricky to showcase what's going on here. And there's my journal, planner, and my sketchbook for this month, where I'm just working. And sometimes I just go that way. There is a little walkway through the woods. I mean, it's safe, but yeah, I would go on a walk for a few minutes and then come back and journal, read, or paint. Walking in nature always calms me down. There have been times when I have walked for 3 hours or more, and miles, like close to 10 miles or something, without even realizing that that's how much I walked. Like if you told me, Mo, you need to get out and walk for 10 miles, you can't make me leave. But when you are out in the nature, there is so many things to observe and take in, lots of thoughts, lots of clarity. It just dawns upon you even without any effort. And it's very meditative and calming. I love that. So let me take you on that walk. And this is the walkway. Like even 5 minutes in a space like this, it's very, very uplifting. If the view is shaky, forgive me. I am trying to walk as smoothly as possible holding this camera in my hand, but I have my limitations. And you know, this is not somebody's curated landscaped garden. This is just natural beauty. Ah, look at that. Ooh. And look at that pine cone over there. It is nothing extraordinary about them, but they are also not ordinary. I don't know how else to describe these experiences. When I go on walks here, I usually set a timer to make sure that I don't get so carried away and keep walking that I forget to pick up my kid. That has never happened, but you know, it's good to be careful since I have that propensity to get carried away. Look at the view. I mean, this is of course far more rewarding in person, but this is the best I can do for you. And then look at that. little pieces of, what do you call those, lichen? I'm not sure. Oh, somebody has chicken. Oh, I never saw that. It was my warning alarm telling me to turn back. And I think in one of these trees I have seen a nest of woodpeckers and a baby woodpecker learning to fly. Very, very alive. It is just, the deadness. Don't let the deadness of the leaves fool you. It's brimming with life. You just can't see it yet. I just love the sound of crunchy leaves under my feet. It's like in nature, everyone is a kid, no matter what their age. Oh, like this little strip of woodsy walkway. It's like then there is civilization on both sides, but in between you can let your imagination roam wild. And these trees, my goodness, they just look so beautiful. I like sit there sometimes and I choose different spots so I can draw different trees, and I see like the carve of the limbs on. It's just amazing, the texture. This is what the weather is like this weekend. So given the weather, I am back indoors and just working on a few. This is very experimental, seeing various things that might or might not work. Abstracts are tricky for me. Yeah, so this is where I stand, and I will hopefully see you next week with a video of something useful or just a rambling vlog like this one.